Hello everybody, Alex is back here again today. I'm gonna make quite a short video. I have more things coming down the pipe, but this is gonna be another camo video, obviously, as you can tell. We're gonna be going over smocks today. It's a pretty nice day outside, so I thought I might as well just use the natural light and make a good camo video for the first time in almost 5 months. So we're gonna be going over Reproduction Smocks in this video. I don't have any of the super low tier $40, $50 smocks that are from China. It's just not how I roll. So I don't have any of those to show you any examples of, but let's get started. So this is a good beginner company to buy a smock from. At least get some semi-decent camo. This is an At the Front. This is a Palm M38 smock from, I'd have to say, when they first came out in 2018, maybe. I bought this when they came out brand new. I can't say the quality has stayed the same for any of the newer runs of it, but I personally like this one a lot. It's I've had it for quite a while, so it's seen some pretty good use. But it's an M38 style. Has the elasticized neck, a different skirt, and there is a storm flap on the autumn side. This is spring side out. The ties are Reproductions, made out of a nylon type cord. This is standard on the At the Fronts. Let me just try and get that in focus for you. It's a nice olive type color. The construction is pretty good for being Chinese made and imported. As you can see, mine has some sewing mistakes on it. Mistakes are just marks from when they sewed it incorrectly and they had to fix it, so they re-sewed it again. Flip it over for you. As you can tell, it's a Palm smock. I like ATF's Palm. It's by far the closest in consideration with pattern. It's doesn't have any made up artwork like SMW has, but the only thing that brings us down from say in SMWholesale is probably the material and the dyes. The dyes are quite crummy. I've heard that the newer runs of these are extremely crummy and they're not too good anymore, but they're also Teflon coated. Kind of has this weird, I would say bounciness, or it's just more rigid than most other Reproduction smocks from say SMWholesale. As you can see, the dye tends to wear a little bit sometimes, so it'll cause these white spots all over it. As you can see, there's a bunch of wear marks and white spots. But overall, not a bad smock for $100. It at least gets you started. If you're starting out, probably pick up an At the Front smock. They seem to be a pretty good deal. They used to all be $100, but because of tariffs and stuff, they went up to $120 on the Type 2s. I think, not sure why, but why is such a big increase, but that's just how it is. So we're gonna go into an SMWholesale next. So let's just get a nice overview. This also has the chest vents as well, and a nice and simple placket. All right, so here we have the SMWholesale smock. This is an older run 5.6 in M40 style or Type 1. This 5.6 is probably 5 to 10 years old. It is made out of closer to original type material as compared to original pieces of fabric, such as this one. The fabric's definitely a lot closer, a little bit thicker than the original is, a little bit heavier in weight, if that makes sense, or a little bit heavier in weave, but still somewhat close. Compared to the At the Front, It has a closer tie to a rayon tie. I'm pretty sure this is synthetic. This isn't real rayon, but it's pretty close. The color's a little bit off to some of the original ties as seen on original Smocks, but it still seems to be within reason. This is the spring side. As you can see, there is also the same problem with at the front, is that it's a dyed smock, or not dyed, it's an ink smock, not dyed. So the ink tends to run off the surface after some use. I've owned this for almost a year now. I bought it last summer. I got quite a deal on it from the guy who was selling it, but there's no numbers on this one, or there are, but they're hidden. Let's see, I think I showed it in the other video, but I'll show it again. But yeah, there's one number, that's a 6. There's another one on the autumn side that's hiding. I can't say that this smock is representative of what they are today. I've heard that SMWholesale's QA, or quality assurance, has pretty much gone down the toilet at this point in 2021. So I can't really speak for that, but just get an overview on the smock. But it is assembled somewhat correctly. There are a couple hiccups here and there. It's how they assembled it, like random catches in the sewing and stuff. But overall, a nice smock. These usually run about $300. I got this one for half price, and I've been using it for about a year. I usually switch out my smocks depending on the impression or the time period, so I usually switch between this one and the palm one. Haven't had a chance to use the next one that's coming out yet in the field, but that'll be pretty soon. But overall, this smock's pretty good. A little bit high for price, but I wish they could just, SMWholesale could just make all the smocks the same price, because there's no need to have different prices unless it costs more to print. But overall, pretty good smock. Mid-range, probably for more advanced reenactor, because at the front doesn't really sell a lot of models of Planetree and stuff, so you kind of want to mix it up a little bit. You never want to be matching with your camouflage, so either get like different Planetree patterns, like 3, 4, 1, 2, or 5, 6, and then mismatch those with whatever smock you have if you're rocking that. But overall, this one's construction is pretty good, as you can tell. The waist is also getting a little bit stretched out. Might need to replace the elastic. But other than that, it's in pretty good condition. The vents are a little bit different than the at the front and the placket as well. But overall, still a good buy, I'd say. And SMWholesale is definitely your middle tier. Someone trying to look into the high tier of camouflage. So let's move on to the highest level of smock. So this is known as the pinnacle of SS camo. This is a Nordhaus Bekleidung Planetree 5.6 smock. These normally run almost $500 shipped, but are fairly expensive and are very limited if they do come out, or whenever he makes more. These are assembled exactly like originals. So let's start off from the top. Real rayon cord and hand sewn eyelets, not machine sewn like the other reproductions. And usually these garments take quite a long time to assemble, so he does it all by hand. Mismatched camo, which most smocks won't have mixed shading or mixed camo, which is technically incorrect. There are some examples of full non-mixed camo smocks, but few and far between. Usually they have different camouflage parts. This 5.6 is entirely dyed and hand screened. It is not ink, so it will not rub off and the pattern will not deteriorate with use. As you can tell, that's a mixed shading, 2 different dye lots, more of a weird type of fluorescent green and brown, and then more of a mid-tone. I am colorblind. The guy who runs Nordhaus Planetree does make fun of me for it sometimes, but I usually just shrug him off. But it's just bickering at that point. There are, take into account all the little intricacies of the pattern. These are to match up the screens. Let me pull back the SMWholesale real quick, as there are the same markings on it, but they are not, since they're not actually dyed, there is no actual significance to them. If that makes sense, they're not actually used, so they just appear as just black lines. Pulling out a sleeve here, get them on it. They just show up as black lines. There's no like overlap, such as that one. I'll probably reverse the Nordhaus one, just to give all the people who basically get off the camouflage a good look. So this is the little crosses, at least that's what I like to call them. As you can see, since this one is inked and it's just one huge pattern, it isn't done in multiple layers, it's just a solid line. There is no discrepancy with it. As you can see, they try and smooth out the pattern a little bit, try and make it more blobby and more dye-like, but it just comes out way too sharp. And as compared to this, you can see that is very blob-like and it just actually bleeds. Let's pull out a piece of original fabric for you. As you can see, pretty close. This is basically a 1-to-1 reproduction, hence the price point. Mixed shading again. A lot of misprints. These are misprints where the dye doesn't fully get onto the garment. This one is in fact covered in them, which I personally like. It's a nice little touch. Just flip it over, get a nice back shot of it. And this is in 5/6 pattern. There's another little misprint in the skirt. I think this is the first time I've publicly unveiled this. I'm not really a big social media person. I don't like posting new stuff every week that I get. I usually just make impression photos when I'm at events, and that's about it. I'm not a flexer or anything. I just like to reenact as historically possible and as historically accurate as I can. I just like to do everything accurately. I don't care about prices and whatever is cool. I just like to do what I do and have fun with it. So let's just get this reversed for you. I'm not going to turn the tie inside out, but this is the autumn side. As you can tell, it's a little bit more brown, muddy, blends in with foliage for autumn a little bit better. Has of course mixed shading, and there's a little tiny cross again. This is an actual one that was used, obviously. I have another one on the placket in here. You can't really see it, but it's on. There's another one underneath there, and then here are the mixed shaded sleeves. There is the number 5 and a number 6. So a true 5/6 Smock, surprisingly. These ones are made to the utmost quality and care. The material is 1-to-1. If I took this Zelt piece and compared it by feel, they feel almost exactly the same. Just this one is 80 years old almost. But other than that, these smocks are definitely the top tier that you can buy if you can buy them. Usually they're offered. You can't just buy them outright unless he actually posts them for public sale. Call it gatekeeping, but he has very limited resources, very limited time, and he's a very busy guy, so he can't devote his whole life to tar, even though it seems like it. He's not running a huge business like SMWholesale and At the Front. He doesn't have a lot of unlimited and finite resources. He has finite resources, not unlimited resources. But the cuffs are sewn over. You'll see some that are raw on originals. I contemplated doing that on my palm smock by making this raw and uncutting the stitching on my At the Front palm, but I opted not to do it. Let's get a nice back look at it. You can tell that it's very vibrant, and it's dyed with fiber reactive dyes. It's a very nice garment. I plan on wearing this at my next event, which is coming up pretty soon. Depending on when this video gets uploaded, my next event will be in April in Odessa, New York. If anybody is going, you can comment it. I will probably take some photos there and post them on my Instagram page. I know that my Instagram has been dead since last October, and that's just because I've been very busy with school and the likes of that. I've just been studying really hard and doing all my work. But here's an original piece of 5/6 from an Elsenau scrap. I got it from my good friend in Slovakia, Nejik Ratcher. I'm pretty sure. If I butcher that, please correct me. But it's an original piece of 5/6 fabric. As you can tell, the dyes are extremely similar, and they're almost 1-to-1, if not 1-to-1. Same with the construction, the elastic, the way how it's sewn into the band. Just get a good lighting on that. The way how it's sewn into the skirt is exactly like originals. And the guy who runs Nordhaus definitely has an eye for making things as historically accurate as possible, which I appreciate. So that is the last tier of camouflage, probably for someone who wants to upgrade completely and void all other options to fully get a really historically accurate impression. So I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. I hope this was informative for you, and I hope that you enjoy your day. And please leave suggestions in the comments about what videos you want to see and what I should do next, because I'm really looking for video ideas. I don't have a lot of free time, so I just make these very small videos whenever I can, usually in between work and school. So if you guys have any suggestions, you can DM me on Instagram, comment on here. I think I have my Discord username in my About section on here, but I'm not too sure. I might just add it in there. If you guys want to add me on Discord, I can start a Discord channel. People are interested in that. I like the support. I saw that my video blew up. My camo video from 5 months ago blew up. It was hovering around 100 views, and now it's at like 500, I think, which is pretty good. I appreciate it. But if you guys want to see more content like this, please interact. I want to know, and I want to interact with people. I'm pretty known in the community, I guess. I don't know. No Panzer sold at one. I'm not trying to be. I just try and be informative and make these small videos for you guys. So I hope you appreciate it, and have a nice day.